Okay, so you've given us quite a bit to dig through here. This book by AllanDib, Lean Marketing, More Leads, More Profit, Less Marketing. And it seems like you're really looking for like the condensed version, the key takeaways, without having to wade through all the details.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of our listeners feel that way. They're busy people. They want the actionable insights.
Exactly. And that's what we're here to do today. Really dive deep and pull out those golden nuggets from Dib's work and see how we can apply them.
Mhm.
One of the things that struck me right away reading through the intro was Dib's background. I mean, he's not just some academic theorizing about marketing. He's actually been in the trenches, helping businesses transform their approach.
Yeah, that really comes across in his writing, doesn't it? He's got all these stories about working with real companies and seeing them achieve these breakthroughs. And I think that's what makes this book so valuable. It's not just theory, it's practical advice from someone who's been there and done that.
Totally. So let's get into the meat of it, starting with the fundamental concept here, lean marketing. Now, I know a lot of people have probably heard about lean in the context of manufacturing, things like Toyota and their production system. But Dib makes a really interesting connection to marketing.
Right. And he does a great job of breaking down those core principles of lean thinking and showing how they can be applied to marketing. So we've got, defining value from the customer's perspective. That's always got to be front and center. Then there's continuous improvement, always looking for ways to do things better. And of course, eliminating waste, which is a huge one in marketing. We'll get into that more in a bit.
Yeah.
And then finally, producing only what's needed when it's needed. So no more, overproducing or creating marketing materials that just sit on the shelf gathering dust.
I love that analogy of marketing materials gathering dust. It's so true. It's like
Yeah.
we often create things because we think we should not, because they're actually going to move the needle.
Right. And that's where the whole concept of waste comes in. I think a lot of people, when they hear waste in a business context, they think about like physical waste, stuff going into the landfill. But in marketing, waste can take many forms. It can be time wasted on activities that don't produce results, money wasted on ineffective campaigns, or even opportunities wasted because you're not focusing on the right things.
Yeah, it's about being really intentional with your resources and making sure that everything you do is actually contributing to your goals. And this brings us to Dib's first core principle of lean marketing. Create value for your target market with your marketing. I mean, that sounds pretty straightforward, right? But I think it's actually a really profound idea when you really think about it.
It is. It's saying your marketing shouldn't just be about selling your product or service. It should actually be valuable in and of itself. Your ideal customer should be like, wow, this is actually helpful. I'm glad I came across this.
Exactly. And he even takes it a step further, talking about how your marketing should ideally be so valuable that your target market would be willing to pay for it, even if you weren't giving it away for free.
It's like thinking about what kind of content or information would be so valuable to your ideal customer that they would seek it out and actually purchase it as a standalone product. Or, maybe subscribe to a newsletter or something.
That's a really interesting way to think about it.
Yeah.
And it really gets to the heart of what Dib is saying about creating value. It's not just about being clever or catchy with your marketing. It's about actually providing something that your audience will find useful and beneficial.
Yeah, and I think this is where the concept of externalities comes in. In economics, an externality is basically a side effect of an activity that affects other parties. So like, pollution from a factory is a negative externality because it harms the environment. But Dib is talking about the potential for marketing to create positive externalities.
So instead of your marketing being seen as an intrusion or an annoyance, it actually becomes something that adds value to the world. Like maybe you create an educational video that teaches people a new skill, or you write a blog post that helps them solve a problem.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people would agree that there's way too much marketing out there that's just noise. It's not adding any value, it's just interrupting people and trying to sell them something. But lean marketing is all about flipping that script and creating marketing that people actually appreciate and find useful.
Okay, so we've got this foundation of lean and the importance of creating value. Now, Dib goes on to introduce this really important distinction between two types of marketing, brand marketing and direct response marketing. And he's got some pretty strong opinions on each of these.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't hold back, does he? So on the one hand, you've got brand marketing, which is all about building awareness and creating a positive image for your brand. Think about like big Super Bowl commercials or those billboard ads you see on the highway. It's very much about impressions and reach and creating an emotional connection with your audience.
And Dib's point is that this type of marketing can be really hard to measure in terms of its direct impact on your bottom line. You might spend millions of dollars on a Super Bowl ad, but how do you know if it actually led to more sales?
Right. And he even quotes John Wanamaker, who famously said, "Half the money I spend on advertising is wasted. The trouble is, I don't know which half." And I think that's a sentiment that a lot of business owners can relate to. You're pouring money into these brand building activities, but you're not always sure what you're getting back.
And this is where direct response marketing comes in, which is all about getting a measurable response from your audience. So think about things like pay-per-click advertising or email marketing or even direct mail, where you're sending out a specific message with a clear call to action and you can track exactly how many people respond.
Exactly. And the beauty of direct response marketing is that it's very data driven.
Hmm.
You can see what's working and what's not, and you can adjust your campaigns accordingly. So if you're running a Facebook ad and you're not getting any clicks, you can tweak the targeting or the messaging until you start seeing results.
And DIB really emphasizes the importance of tracking your results and using data to make informed decisions about your marketing, which is something that a lot of businesses struggle with.
Yeah, and he's not saying that one type of marketing is better than the other. It's more about understanding the strengths and weaknesses of each approach and using them strategically. So, brand marketing can be great for building long-term awareness and creating a positive image, but it's not always the best choice if you're looking for immediate results.
And on the flip side, direct response marketing can be really effective for driving sales and generating leads. But you have to be careful that you're not just chasing short-term gains and neglecting the long-term health of your brand.
Right, and that's where I think Dib's concept of lean marketing really comes into play. It's about finding that balance between building a strong brand and getting a measurable return on your marketing investment.
Absolutely. And he even argues that by applying lean principles, you can actually make brand marketing more efficient and measurable. And you can make direct response marketing more brand friendly. So it's not about choosing one or the other. It's about finding that sweet spot where they work together harmoniously.
Exactly. And to help you achieve those better results, Dib introduces what he calls the three force multipliers early on in the book. And these are basically the key ingredients that you need to amplify the impact of your marketing efforts.
Yeah, so we've got tools, which are things like the software and systems that you use to manage your marketing assets, which are the content and data that you create and own. And then processes, which are the repeatable workflows that you establish to streamline your marketing operations.
Right. And these three things work together to create a powerful marketing engine. So, if you've got the right tools, you can automate a lot of your tasks and free up your time to focus on more strategic work. If you've got valuable assets, you can attract more leads and customers. And if you've got solid processes, you can ensure that everything runs smoothly and efficiently.
Okay, so now I know some of you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but marketing is hard. And to be honest, I used to think that too. But DIB actually says that marketing is easy. And I know that might sound a little crazy, but hear me out.
Yeah, I was skeptical too when I first read that, but he quickly clarifies what he means by easy. He's not saying that marketing is effortless or that you don't have to put in the work.
Exactly. What he's saying is that marketing is fundamentally simple. It's a learnable skill set that anyone can master if they follow a proven framework and establish clear processes. So it's not about being some kind of marketing genius. It's about understanding the principles and applying them consistently.
And I think that's a really empowering message because it means that anyone can succeed with marketing regardless of their background or experience. You don't have to be a natural-born salesperson or a creative whiz. You just have to be willing to learn and put in the effort.
And that's what DIB's book is all about. It's about demystifying marketing and giving you the tools and the knowledge you need to create a successful marketing strategy for your business.
So let's take a moment to recap what we've covered today. We started by talking about the core principles of lean marketing, focusing on customer value, continuous improvement, eliminating waste, and producing only what's needed.
And then we talked about the distinction between brand marketing and direct response marketing, and how lean marketing can help you find that sweet spot where both approaches work together effectively.
And we touched on the three force multipliers: tools, assets, and processes, which are essential for amplifying the impact of your marketing efforts.
And finally, we talked about DIB's assertion that marketing is easy, which really means that it's learnable and anyone can succeed if they have the right mindset and approach.
So now the question is, what are you going to do with this knowledge? How are you going to apply these principles to your own business?
Take a moment to think about your current marketing activities. Where might the waste be hiding? Are you focusing on creating value for your target market? Are you using the right tools and processes?
And perhaps most importantly, are you approaching marketing with the right mindset? Are you seeing it as a challenge or an opportunity? Are you willing to experiment and learn and constantly improve?
Because at the end of the day, that's what lean marketing is all about. It's about embracing a mindset of continuous improvement and always striving to do better. It's not about perfection, it's about progress.
And that's something that we can all get behind, right?
Absolutely. So that wraps up our deep dive into AllanDib's lean marketing. We hope you found it valuable, and we encourage you to check out the book for yourself. There's a lot more to explore, and we're confident that you'll find it insightful and actionable.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. We'll see you next time.
See ya.